Hello, friends. These days, we know what has been happening in Goa due to the remarks made by Subhash Velinkar on St. Francis Xavier, questioning him why should we call him Goencho Saib. And also, he said that we need to make people aware of the Inquisition in Goa. And I say, yes, we should make people aware of the Inquisition in Goa, because if we don't make aware, people like Subhash Velinkar, Shefali Vaidya are going to misinterpret it and use it to spread hatred among Goans. So let me begin by giving you certain reasons why St. Francis Xavier is called Goencho Saib. First of all, we should refer to the letters written by himself, by St. Francis Xavier, then we will come to know what kind of person he was. Let me refer to you about one letter which he wrote in the year 1543 when he entered Goa. He writes about a special caste called the Brahmins, and he calls them the most manipulative and crafty men, because they would cheat the poor people in name of gods and in name of religion. Would tell them, like, one particular god is angry with you, you have to give this, you have to give that, and they themselves would eat it and tell people that the gods are eating it. And he fought for the rights of the native people. He fought for their rights. Another letter let me refer to, which he wrote in the year 1544 on 23rd May, complaining about the Portuguese soldiers, how they mistreated the natives, how they misbehaved even though being Christians, and how they did not do what they were supposed to do. You see, Subhash Velinkar says that St. Francis Xavier is a Portuguese man. Actually, he is a Spanish. But still, he was not a friend of the Portuguese. The Portuguese hated him because he corrected them, he challenged them, he rebuked them for what they were doing, complaining to the king of Portugal about them, King John III. This is why he is called Goencho Saib. Today, many of our Goans, be it Catholics or Hindus, make Portuguese passport, go to Portugal, work in Europe, earn money, make their living, come back to Goa. All this is because of St. Francis Xavier. He fought for the rights of the native people, demanding from the king that he should treat the native people of India as citizens, equal citizens along with the native Portuguese. This is why we are having the privilege of Portuguese passport. Let me go further. When he came to Goa, he wanted to communicate with the people. So what he did? He did not make people learn Latin, but he learnt the native language, Konkani. He wrote down the Konkani grammar, which was then refined by priests like Father Thomas Stephens, Father Dalgado. They made the Konkani grammar dictionary, the grammar which we are using in the schools today for learning Konkani. It was given by him. The Catechism of the Catholic Church he translated into Konkani from Latin and taught the people. Whenever something wrong was going on with the people, be it Catholics, be it Hindus, in the letter which I said, which is dated in the year 1543, on 20th of March 1543, he even fought for the rights of Hindus. He wrote a letter to the king to fight regarding a Hindu who was being mistreated by Portuguese. He also appreciated one Brahmin, and he called him the most learned man and most civilized man he had encountered. So you see, he was a very sincere person. Even he writes fantastic things about Japan when he discovered Japan, and he calls Japan as one of the most civilized nations. He doesn't talk evil about them simply unless he really saw something evil in it. He was a bold person. The Portuguese hated him, but because of his position, which was he was a nuncio of the Pope, an ambassador of the Pope, they couldn't touch him. Next, we go to see why he is called the Goencho Saib. Because he did a lot of miracles. First of all, he served those who were poor, he helped those who were sick, but a lot of miracles he also performed through his prayers, raising the dead back to life, curing the sick. When there was no proper food, praying for food. When there used to be storms and calamities, he used to pray and calm the storms. And even after his death, of course, the incorruptible body which was put to rest here in the Basilica of Jesus, because of which the people started calling him Goencho Saib. Even till today, he protects us. All of us know that, be Catholics or Christians. So these are the reasons why he is called Goencho Saib. Now, Subhash Velinkar says that one event happened, that is, Sambhaji was coming to attack Goa to liberate Goa from Portuguese. The Portuguese brought down the body of Saint Francis Xavier, and at that moment only Sambhaji was threatened by his son of Aurangzeb, which is why he had to retreat. And then the Portuguese said Goa is saved by Saint Francis Xavier, therefore he is called Goencho Saib. He only narrows down to this event. But the thing is, if Saint Francis Xavier was not called Goencho Saib before this, why would they bring down his body and pray to him? Saint Francis Xavier was canonized in the year 1622. This Sambhaji event happened in 1683. A gap of around, 60 years. Before that, in the year 1554, that is in 1552 he died on Sanction Islands, and he was being brought to Goa in 1554. There was a huge procession. This is described in the accounts of the travelers and the missionaries and the companions at that time. A huge procession had come because the miracle of the incorrupt body itself was enough to call him Goencho Saib. And there were local people, the people with whom he walked, he ate, he prayed with. Those people were there. This is why he is called Goencho Saib. Now, the Inquisition is a topic which has been misused and misinterpreted to spur hatred among people, especially against the Christians of Goa. What is the Inquisition? Was it an order to destroy temples and build churches? Was it an order to forcefully convert the Hindus into Catholics? Was it an order to shoo away and curtail the practices of the Hindus? No. 3 years back, I had written an article on the Goa Inquisition, giving a response to Shefali Vaidya, again who accused St. Francis Xavier of doing some barbaric acts according to her. Link is given in the description. Please read it. Please also watch the videos which I did interview on the same topic with Brother Francis on the channel Glory Apologetics. Dear friends, Inquisition is a very vast topic, very complex topic, but not so complex that we won't understand. Academical, intellectual study and research has been done and presented in a webinar form on the YouTube channel Al Sulej. The link again I'm putting in the description. If you have time, please watch all this, please read all this. Unless and until you do this, I don't think anybody should have the right to comment anything, to come and talk any nonsense. So, we call St. Francis Xavier Goencho Saib not only because of his incorrupt body and miracles, but because he fought for us, he stood by us, he defended us, and till today he protects us. Most of the people, politicians and even religious leaders have said that. But I have given you particular cases, examples of 2 letters. So if you have time, please read it. To end, we all remember that in the year 2017 there was a cyclone coming which was on the west coast of India, and it was about to come and enter Goa. That year, 3rd of December was a Sunday. Being the season of Advent, we couldn't celebrate the feast of St. Francis Xavier on that Sunday. We had to celebrate it on 4th December, which is Monday. On Sunday, the cyclone was entering Goa and somehow it was diverted. I at least got so many messages from so many people saying that on the feast day of this saint, this cyclone was taken away from Goa, protecting Goa from the destruction this cyclone would bring. Everybody said it is Goencho Saib protecting Goa. In the year 21, again another cyclone. So much destruction happened. Yet, it did not do much harm to the people of Goa. In a sense, there were not so many dead bodies lying around, or not so much destruction as to be too many people dying. This is why he is called Goencho Saib. We all have it, be it Hindus, be it Catholics, be it Muslims of this state. We all know it. And finally, Subhash Velinkar wants to call somebody else Goencho Saib. Well, I present to you Saint Francis Xavier, a historically existing person, and the evidence is in his body still lying in front of our eyes. And the other side, you are proposing somebody whose historical evidence is yet not clear. I'm sorry to offend somebody's religious sentiments, but I would like to go by facts. I would like to go by facts. If there are facts of the other, then whoever wants to accept him as Goencho Saib may accept him. But till now, Saint Francis Xavier is a historical figure, the other is a mythological figure. I at least am not ready to accept any mythological figure as the Goencho Saib. So enough has been told to Subhash Velinkar, so much so he could not come for a debate on Gomantak channel with Father Victor Ferron. Please watch that debate as well. Thank you. This is Matthew signing off.